Good evening. Welcome to Injustice Investigations. I'm your host tonight, Al Scott. And joining me for this special show this evening is my good friend, Robert R. Thomas Jr. from The Real News Behind the News. Robert, as always, I thank you, brother, for coming out.
Thanks for having me. You're welcome. It's always an honor and a privilege to be here, man, anytime you want me.
I gratefully appreciate you, brother. I gratefully do. We've got some issues going on within the United States. The issues that we have going on within the United States with police officers. Even if I use the word diabolical, to me, that would be an understatement. The year is 2020. And if you look back in history, at 1820, you will see the same thing when it comes to blacks and police officers. You heard me say this time and time again. You've heard Robert say it time and time again. It's not getting any better in this country for black people. If you want to know the truth, it's getting worse. Police officers have no fear of losing their job, no fear of going to prison. Here's what's going to happen. It's a homicide, but we're going to put the word justifiable homicide in front of homicide. And that right there clears me of any wrongdoing. Your life as a black person does not matter. When we say Black Lives Matter, the first thing white people say, all lives matter. Here's what they're telling you. Damn what you're saying. I want you to look at it like this. All lives matter. And if you're black, I don't speak for me. Do all lives matter? No, it doesn't. It doesn't. If you look at how many blacks have been killed on, I thought, I missed. You cannot tell me that all lives matter. So I don't want to hear you tell me that all lives matter, because it don't. You want us to set that because you're white, you want to be included. You know your lives matter. You know that, rich or poor. But as a black man in the United States, as a black woman in the United States, every day that we wake up, black, we're marked for death. Every day. Every day. And when you attack us in a violent way, you immediately come to the mic and say, protest, but we will not tolerate violence. Bullshit. This time, you're going to tolerate violence because we're going to bring it to your ass. How long do you think black people are going to let you keep violently attacking them, and then you come because you have on a badge and say, we will not tolerate any violence? Don't you know why we're here? Because the goddamn cops in this country keep inflicting violence on black people. So damn what you're saying. It's time that you be met with the same force you keep meeting black people with. I don't give a damn. Is it a threat? What the fuck do you think? This is ridiculous. It's earthly fucking ridiculous. 7 shots, one officer. 7 shots, another one. And a black man's dead. Ain't a damn thing changed. You can sing, I know a change gonna come all day long, but that won't make a change come, because you sing, I know someday a change gonna come. Black people, get up off your ass. Get up off your ass and get ready for war. It's coming. I don't give a damn about the police officer wearing a goddamn motherfucking badge, because I don't expect for the cops to become the criminals that we hired him to chase. Am I pissed off? What you think? You gun a man down in cold blood in front of his mother simply because you wear a badge and a gun. They didn't have tasers. Well, one cop did. One cop did. So y'all know where we're going tonight. But before we get there, Robert, Shreveport, Louisiana, brother was killed by law enforcement. So tell us a little bit about that story and what happened today.
Well, I forget what it was, about 4 or 5 months ago. A brother by the name of Timothy McLaughlin was actually beaten pretty much to the point where he was suffering serious injuries. And once they put him in the patrol car, he passed away. Well, I think a couple of the police in that case are facing some kind of charges. They're facing homicide charges, whether it be negligent homicide or whatever. That's a good thing, but just you got to keep in mind, just because they are facing charges doesn't mean they will be convicted of those charges. But today, the family of Brother McLaughlin basically told the city of Shreveport, even though money won't bring our loved one back, we want nothing less than $25 million from the city of Shreveport. We have to ask, first of all, who's going to pay that money? It's going to be the taxpayers that has to pay that $25 million, because they're saying we're going to settle for $25 million. And if we have to go to court, we're going to sue for over, who knows what they sue for if they have to go to court. But again, one thing I always wonder is, why the hell are these police officers who are not being who are doing the shooting are not being held accountable financially? Why is it that Alfonso, you, your mother, your father, your sisters and brothers, the hardworking taxpayers, have to pay for these police who are literally murderers, a lot of them? Why do we have to pay for it? Shouldn't I tell you what? Everybody talk about not all cops are bad. All right, this is how you get a handle and see who the good cops are. When those police kill somebody, make every police officer on the force pay for it instead of us. I guarantee you those good cops will step up then if they have to start bearing the financial responsibility of their quote-unquote co-workers. A classic example, that Mother's Day, pretty much everybody know what happened on Mother's Day last year at my house. But the truth is, Shreveport Police Department came out there, they did not try to solve the problem. They came out there and started another fight. And the thing about it, there were 2 off-duty police officers who sat there and watched their mother and fathers get beat up by their cohorts, by their coworkers. Yeah. The people across the street had 2 sons that are police officers, Shreveport police officers. And they sat there and watched their coworkers come in and beat the shit out of their mom and their elderly mother and father. So again, not all police are bad, but we can't tell the good ones because none of them are saying anything. So yeah, that's what happened here in Shreveport. And you also got to remember, a couple of weeks before Brother McLaughlin got killed, there was another gentleman, black man here in Shreveport. Do you ever realize the police here have killed more people than Ebola? For real. But anyway, go ahead, Alfonso. Just,
Exactly. And to piggyback off of some of what you just said, we have to get to a point to where we realize that since officers are not being held accountable for killing people from the justice system, then we must make sure they are held accountable. Laws must change. Procedures must change. Cops have to be backed up into a corner where they are terrified, not only about pulling out a gun, but they'll think twice before they pull out a taser. Because now there's some repercussion. You will automatically go to jail. No police officer in the United States, no police officer in the United States, no police officer in the United States that is facing criminal charges should ever be granted bail. Is that harsh? I don't think it is. I'm going to tell you what's harsh. Killing unarmed, innocent black people, killing people with mental issues. That's harsh. I don't expect for you to do the thing that ordinary citizens will do, because you are the law. You know the law. Uphold the law. But you don't. You break the law. And some things must change. They must change. All this walking, I've been saying it for years now. I'm not walking nowhere. I'm not walking nowhere. I'm not walking nowhere because emotions don't change laws. Conversation change laws day by day. But if you're not feeling it, it's maybe because it hadn't landed at your doorstep. And I hope it don't. But if that's what it takes to wake you up, then that's sad on your ass. Because each one teach one. We down here in this world, Robert, we by ourselves. We by ourselves. Do Black Lives Matter? Hell fucking no. They don't. They don't. Cops, we got to get you straight. We got to get you straight. You have the audacity to come on TV. We don't mind protesting, but we will not tolerate violence, and we will not tolerate any looting. You will not be breaking in stores. That's all you motherfuckers see. That's all that concerns you. It's that they're gonna loot stores. Newsflash, somebody's dead with a bullet in them. But you worried about merchandise coming out of store. You don't want no violence. Maybe you should tell the police officers that. Stop inflicting violence, because let me tell you something. The niggas, and I'm gonna use that word tonight, the niggas gonna turn. They're gonna get tired. And when you get tired, what you do? When you're tired, people gonna know you're tired. You can say you're tired all day long, but when you're really tired, you ain't gotta say shit. Because they're gonna say, she got tired. He got tired. A black man, gonna talk about that tonight. Mansfield. Very disturbing video. Very disturbing. Was dragged by police officers. Was taken behind a police unit out of camera view so they can pronounce judgment on his ass. 17 years old. The guy filming. You can't do that. Stop filming, or I'm gonna take you to jail. Give me that phone. I got to take your phone. It's part of evidence because you filmed this here. And now that's part of the evidence I have to take. The guy gave up the phone. Newsflash, don't do that. I don't give a damn what a cop tells you. If you want this phone, I suggest you go find a judge to sign a warrant to come and get it. You got a body cam video on. You got your damn footage. You should have, what is it, the cam thing in the car? The dash cam. If that ain't getting it for you, I'm sorry, brother. Do not turn over your footage to the police. They threatened to lock the man up. Stop filming. If you're doing your motherfucking job, according to the law, it shouldn't bother you about him filming.
And you have the right as a citizen because you are the employer of the police. You have a right, as long as you are not interfering with their duty or trying to stop them, you have the right. As long as you're standing at a certain distance, you have the right to film the police in the act of, I guess you said, fulfilling their duty. Now, if their duty is illegal, they're not going to want you to film that. Of course, there comes the threat. So you have to know you have to know the law and know your rights. But you have every right to film the police because they are your employees.
Exactly. And he's absolutely right. Film the police. But here's what we don't want you to do. We don't want you to agitate them. We don't want you to say, I'm filming you. They know you're filming them. They don't need you to say that because you're going to make it worse for yourself. And if you don't make it worse for yourself, you're going to make it worse for the individual that they're dealing with right now. So film. Do not turn it over. Film. Do not turn it over. Why do you think police departments are working with lawmakers to make it illegal for you and me to film them? If you ain't doing nothing wrong,
you should have no problem. Only people I think that would only be on the camera is people that having sex. You know, other than that, if you're doing your job, and I'm not trying to joke because this is a very serious subject, but I mean, why would you not? Well, if you have nothing to hide, why would you want not to be filmed? Wouldn't you want everybody to know that you, quote unquote, one of those good cops that I talked about earlier?
Exactly.
Do your job.
That's it. You know,
let me ask something. I think it was It was John F. Kennedy say, those who make peaceful protests impossible make violent revolution inevitable. And we're starting to see that right now. And Alfonso and I talked about this earlier. And this is one of those things, I'm the kind of person, I don't think outside the box. I get outside the box and think. Now, this is hypothetical, and I don't want to seem like a conspiracy theorist, but it's to the point now where it seems like law enforcement around the country is practicing for something. Now, this to follow along my lines of thinking, it's like with all this bull crap going on in America, all this chaos and anarchy stemming from police violence against Black people, it seems like police should be more hesitant to shoot Black people. But instead, it's the opposite. It's like they don't give a damn. So what if, and again, this is hypothetical, what if they're practicing for something bigger? What if in all these cities where people, these major cities, where people are getting shot by the police, one or two of those shootings are being done deliberately so that they can test how the police will respond when these protests kick off? Now, that's something to think about. Again, I'm not saying this is what happened, but what if they are actually practicing and using Black men as cannon fodder to practice for martial law scenarios? Again, this is just my way of thinking. But to me, that's the way it seems. Come on, man. With all these shootings and shit going on around here, you would think the police would think twice about actually, if not shooting, if they have to shoot somebody, why not shoot them below the waist?
Exactly.
Why not incapacitate them as opposed to 14 shots basically to the upper torso?
Exactly.
It's like to me, it's like they're practicing for something.
And I'm gonna answer that me personally, just to be. I like that. Good evening, caller. You live on air. What's your name and what state are you calling us from tonight?
Mr. Scott, my name's Jason Bolden. I'm calling from Florida.
Jason Bolden.
Yes, sir.
Well, good evening. Thanks for calling in. I greatly appreciate you.
Good evening and blessings to y'all. What I wanted to say right quick is, being born from the South, you know, my grandma taught me when they point left to look right. So when I look at all these police issues, it's a distraction. Our police are being trained by somebody called Mossad. I don't want to take over your platform and get into who Mossad is, but once you do a little research and find out, our police officers are being trained because eventually what's about to happen, y'all, is they're going to have to enter our communities to get some of us to take this vaccine for this COVID. So what you're seeing right now is a bunch of stories about how police are overpowering citizens, but it's all a distraction. You see, every time we get involved in a police-involved shooting, we forget that our Senate and Congress didn't pass a bill to help our unemployment. We forget that we have children in the Black community being killed every day. So my biggest issue isn't the police. It's about people in our community not getting together and policing themselves. Because once we do that, police activity will be non-existent. We don't need y'all around. I would rather have a psychiatrist pull up to the scene than a police officer. Because right now, with all of y'all training, all of y'all gun training, how are y'all afraid of us? We scared of y'all.
You know, let me ask you this quickly. You make some good points. You do.
He was right.
Yeah. When you bring up about the police being scared of us, but we know they're not. We know they're not. Let me ask you this: how do you feel about defunding the police departments? Will that make a difference?
Well, now it depends on what defunding means. Again, to me, that's a distraction. When you say you're going to defund the police, does that mean that if something happens in a community, I can't dial 911 anymore? Mr. Scott, this is a distraction.
No.
Defunding the police.
No. That does not mean that. No, you're fine. No, that doesn't mean that. But go ahead.
What my issue is, it's not defunding the police. It's revamping the system that the police come from. See, I live in a community where we don't have any issues with our police because everybody in my neighborhood has a sign in their yard that say we don't call 911. So you're not coming over here because me and my neighbors is going to take care of your ass before the police get here. One thing that y'all need to realize, some people need to realize, on the side of all these cop cars, Mr. Scott, it says protect and serve. No. You respond and then you react. That's what should be on your car. Because by the time you show up to a scene, Mr. Officer, what you showing up for has already happened 9 out of 10 times. So what I think needs to happen is let's take some of this money and teach these officers how to respond and then react off of the situation they pulling up on. You understand what I mean? You're not protecting me. You're not serving me. You getting a call from 911 from one of my neighbors, and then you pull up to my house assuming that you know what's going on. And your reaction to me causes a reaction from me. And then these situations that we hear of also often happen. Whereas if someone pulled up on the scene, instead of having a gun, you had a notebook, and you actually separated people and said, well, Mr. Bolden, you having an issue with Mr. Scott? Yes, sir. Do you see what happens right there? You are de-escalating the issue before there's ever an issue. So my thing is, let's get more psychiatrists on the force. Let's make these officers take psychology courses. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No. Listen, let me tell you something. You are making a lot of great points, and then I'm going to say a few things. I'm going to turn it over to Robert, and he wants to speak with you as well. Number one, when we talk about us in the community coming together to get things right, I agree with you. I totally agree with you on that. But here's the thing about some of us. Some of us don't do that. It's not because we don't know how to do it. Some of us are scared. If it fails, then the law will attack us. So we don't say nothing. We be quiet, So that's one of our problems. We got to get us to get up and uproot all the lies we've been told and realize that your body is out of Egypt, but I need your mind to follow your body and stuff. We would not come out and speak against the police for fear of retaliation or going to jail, but the same ones that would not come out and speak tomorrow morning will deliberately commit a crime and carry their ass to jail. Now, when we talk,
it's a whole fact. Because living in a predominantly white community, let me tell you one thing I noticed about living around our white brothers and sisters, and I'm not racist, first off. Let me say that I love everybody that's anybody. So one thing I noticed is we don't do all that walking and talking like a lot of black people do. We write letters to our local congressman, our mayor. We actually get it done. You understand? We'll protest your ass when we march, because it's more action in not buying from your store than it is from walking around your store. So one thing we need to realize as black people, it's worse things. Like my mama died in 2005. Mr. Scott, it's worse things than going home to my mama. It's worse things to me than dying. Me living on my motherfucking knees is worse than me dying, Mr. Scott. So if I'm standing up for something righteous, I'm not concerned about that, because I'm trying to make it right for my little nieces and nephews. And just because I live in a privileged community does not mean my whole family does. So that fear that you have, I'm telling when I go back home, I'm like, y'all, leave that Black Lives Matter shit alone. Because where they at when the stray bullets hit the house and kill the baby? Come on, man. We don't need these government groups, Black Lives Matter, blah, blah, blah. We don't need all these spokesmen. One thing I'm going to say that I respect about you, Mr. Scott, and Mr. Taylor, Robert, I can't remember his last name.
Thomas.
I'm subscribed to his channel, but I just can't remember his last name. But one thing I love about y'all is y'all actually have film of y'all being in y'all community. I don't give a sorry about the curse. I don't give a damn about no Jesse Jackson, no Al Sharpton, none of these spokespersons that's coming to y'all community, stirring up shit, get the paycheck and leave. I respect the local people like y'all that's actually trying to do something. So as a neighborhood, we stronger than the negative element in our neighborhood. So to your point, we gotta unite. Our neighbors got to start back loving each other. This community-wide shit, it's got to come back. We need to start throwing neighborhood cookouts so everybody in the neighborhood know each other. That's what we do in these white communities that people don't publicize. We all know each other. So when somebody pull up at somebody's house, we call it, oh, you okay? Miss Bertha, you all right? I know you're a widow. You good? If not, let me know, because I'm coming down there where there was a name. That's how we act. That's why it's no criminal element in my neighborhood, because my neighborhood protect my neighborhood. We ain't calling no police. We calling the ambulance. Come pick your stealing ass up if you did something wrong. And I hate to get emotional, but I'm tired of black people playing the victim. I'm tired of us believing that this, and I don't mean any disrespect to anybody in the chat that believe in Jesus. I was born and raised in South Carolina. Lord knows I've been indoctrinated into this. But my pie in the sky, I'm going to have that joy and peace right now where I know what it is. And all y'all turning the other cheek, these enemies of ours ain't turning the other cheek. This enemy of ours ain't asking for forgiveness, believing in milk and honey in that land. You better get your fucking milk and honey right now where you can taste and eat it. And I apologize for going on too long.
No. Listen. No. You are fine. I'm gonna say this here, then they turn over to Robert. But brother, I want you, if you're not busy tomorrow, to give me a call again. I want you on the show as a guest, if you're willing to do that, because you are speaking some truth here, and I like it. I know Robert like it, and it needs to be heard. So I'm going to turn it over to Robert now.
Yes, sir.
I want to elaborate on something you said, and I keep saying this. I've been saying this for years, and Black folks are not getting it. We as Black folks, in order to understand what's going on with us, you have to look at what the IDF, you said the Mossad, but it's really the IDF, the Israeli Defense Force. You have to look at what they're doing to the Palestinians to understand what's going on here. Because he was right. That is who's training your police. That knee to the neck of George Floyd, where do you think the police learned that from? The Israeli Defense Force. Everything that's happening to us is practiced on the Palestinians by the Israeli Defense Force. And it is brought to America. Now, let me give y'all some real game. Did you know to serve and protect does not mean the private citizens? No, the police function is to serve and protect the public infrastructure. Did you know if your wife is getting raped, she calls the police. Do you know the police does not have an obligation to answer any phone call? Their job is to protect the system, the infrastructure of the system. It's not to serve and protect us, yeah. Since they don't have too many riots and protests, yeah, they come out into our neighborhoods and this and that. But you have to understand what the police, how they started, what was their role when they were created, and how it translates to now. Let me give y'all some game. Slavery, we all know, has never ceased. Up under a chattel slavery, we were treated like beasts of the field. Okay, Lincoln comes along, quote unquote, and does away with slavery. But under the 13th Amendment, you have the right to freedom, and nobody can take your freedom away unless what? You get convicted of a felony. So now what happens? You go from chattel slavery to sharecropping, from sharecropping to Jim Crow. Now here we are in 2020. Now I'm gonna get y'all a real game. The state is the slave master. The penitentiaries are the plantations. The plantations. The guards, the wardens, and the overseers, they're the overseers. The police are the slave catchers. Slavery has never really ceased to exist. And you can see it the way that the police, who were really created to catch slaves, you can see the way they're shooting us down in the street. So again, listen.
What if I take it a little bit further and exclude incarcerated males? Every person that can hear my voice right now, thank you to Mr. Scott for allowing me to speak. Every person that has a social security number is a slave. Every person that works a 9 to 5 that pay taxes, you are a slave. One thing I've been telling my family a lot is, you look at Abraham Lincoln and you look at John F. Kennedy. Both of them guys were assassinated because they was trying to get rid of the Federal Reserve, they was trying to get rid of the CIA, and they was trying to get rid of shadow government. So one thing we need to understand is there is a system beneath. That's why I like the title of this. The reason I like your title is the real news behind the news is a lot of our people. And when I say that, I'm talking about my family. I'm never going to judge nobody until I fix my own family first off. You know, I'm from the South. We clean our own house, but we worry about what yours look like. So what I learned through a lot of studying and research is they got us worried about the wrong thing. You got black people, right now within their families arguing about if they're going to vote for Trump or they're going to vote for Biden. And I can go pull up information to show you Biden racist, just like you can pull up information and show you Trump is racist. These parties were all set up to hurt us. And this is the last thing I want to say. God bless John F. Kennedy, because this is the reason why I like to express me not being racist. If y'all do your Googles, there's a white man named John Brown that ran a raid on Harper's Ferry, where he took his own family with slaves and tried to raid this ammunition bank to free the slaves. Man, they hung him like a dog. So what they did to JFK, listen, before Lyndon B. Johnson took over, after they assassinated JFK, do y'all realize the black family had a higher marriage rate than any other family in America? So circa 1963, the black families was booming. We were the upper middle class. Why do you think we voted Republican? We had these beliefs. We was pro-God. We was pro-life. We was pro-gun. We was pro-small business. What they did when they killed Kennedy is they incentivized the black woman living on her own. So what they did is they gave you Section 8. So listen, if you don't have no husband, young lady, you can live for $9. These folks knew what they was doing to us 40 years ago. The issue is we just finding out that the games what we reaping right now was sown 40 years ago, 50 years ago. So what we have to do now is we need to come together. Why is there not so many platforms with black men like the three of us? And these are my elders, y'all. So when you hear me apologizing to Mr. Scott for talking too long, that's called respect. We got to get respect back in our community. And if anybody in our community not willing to run with us, then guess what? Some of the people can't come with us to get what we going. But we need to promote black women. We need to promote marriage. We need to promote sustainability. Why is it that my family look at me crazy because I got a garden? And I'm like, well, grandma had a garden. So while y'all going to Walmart and buying y'all vegetables, mine in the backyard. Well, why you doing that? Well, listen, if they cut off the food like they are, pay attention to food shortages, me and my family can just go vegan because we got okra and tomatoes. And you understand? We have been brainwashed, and now we hate each other. The solution is we just need to love each other. And I'm sorry for talking. But the thing that bothers me is in the last 3 weeks, I have seen so many articles about our black babies dying that I'm just mad now. Like, and I'm mad. I'm telling my people, look, if these gang members don't have enough respect, because I'm 41 years old, my uncles used to come up. If they had an issue, Mr. Scott, they walked up to that person with that issue and pow. Wasn't none of this side half-court shooting down the street where, you got little kids that can't even go to the park anymore. So before we hop on this Black Lives Matter and this Kamala Harris shit, man, fix your own house first. Fix your own family first, then go to your neighbor house. As soon as you get your family right and your neighbor family right, y'all got a group. Let's take our neighborhoods back. And again, y'all, I apologize.
No, stop. Before you hang up, listen. Sometimes people get angry and they call me when the show is over the next day. Why don't you let that person speak so long? Whenever I let a person speak a long time, so to say, I believe that person is speaking not only truth, but the viewers of my show needs to hear it. So with that being said, don't ever apologize.
Mr. Scott, I've been riding with you since Malia.
Oh my God.
I never like commented. I'm just like, yo, this dude different. Like he different. So one thing that I do is I support from the sideline. And as soon as I get off the phone, I'm gonna hit you in the super chat. But it's like one thing that I realize I gotta start doing is I gotta let my dollars talk, because my white brothers and sisters, let me tell you what they do. They be paying. Look at the cash app of these officers that kill our black brothers and sisters. They getting money. So the same money, and no disrespect to anybody that's a church member listening to me, but that same 10% y'all giving to these preachers every Sunday, and ain't shit changed in your church. Ain't a Bible came in, ain't no growth center been born. Get at to Mr. Scott. Get at the Mr. Roberts because they making changes in the community. So we got to start letting our money talk.
Brother, I gratefully appreciate you. Last night, Robert said some of what you just said about the money. He appealed to the people because we don't get paid for this. We don't charge nobody for this because we do more than tell the news. We investigate cases for people. And when we were given the vision, we was told never to charge. And we're going to live up to that until the day that I die. So after Robert pleaded last night, we didn't get one donation. But here's the thing. If I was rich, I'd do it. Wouldn't ask nothing. But we came back because we believe in what we're doing and we believe in change. And if you really want to make things change in life, then you have to be that change that you want to see, whether you're being paid for it or not. I appreciate everything that you have said this evening because you didn't miss a beat. Something when you got to talking about us being, I guess I'm gonna put this with pimps and hoes. Here's the thing. If Mike owns a construction company, right? Mike is a pimp. If I get a job with Mike, I'm a hoe. That's just where it is. Life is made up of pimps and hoes unless you got your own thing. So I totally agree with that. And you're saying a lot of things that Black people really need to hear because from the beginning of time, we have been brainwashed. And the hardest thing for a Black man to do, and Robert and I talked about this just the other day, is to unteach that has been taught. So we have to uproot the lies so that we can live. Some people will never live before they die. They'll survive, but they won't live. I want you to call me tomorrow when time permits, and I want to speak with you on some things. But listen, never apologize for speaking your truth. When you come on here, if you call in and you cuss, brother, I'm fine with that. I need people like you to get angry, because when you're angry, that's when things change. So in order for us to get some peace in our lives as Black people, we're going to have to raise some damn hell and put that Bible down and quit praying and say we're going to turn the other cheek and let God handle this and God handle that. When God is really saying, everything you need to deal with this is on the inside of you. Quit putting it on me.
See this last thing, Mr. Scott, when we allow the powers that be to whitewash our history, they kept a big secret from us about Jesus Christ. Do you realize when they hung people back in the day, Mr. Scott, that they hung political heretics? Jesus was a social political movement. That's why they hung him. So all the Christians out here need to realize, y'all, when we wasting our time going to church, listening to a dude that's driving a car that costs more than us, when we need help on our power bill, the church can't help us. That's not what the Jesus that I believe in stood for. Last thing I want to say is the two biggest influences, and this is going to sound oxymoronic, Mr. Scott, the two biggest influences in the Black community, in my belief, is the Black woman. First, I'll shout out to all the strong women that I watch in your chat. One of the reasons I don't talk is because the women say enough, and it's my job to protect them. The second strongest entity that was in our community that changed was the Black church. Because before you was able to be tax exempt as a church, our Black churches were speaking out. Now that they covered under this government tax exempt, that's why they can't say nothing. So God bless both of you men. God bless all the women in here that's calling in. Man, listen, and it's hard out here. So let's pray for each other. And at the end of the day, listen, don't march no more. Pick up a pen, write a letter, because that letter is going to do more than you marching will ever do. God bless y'all.
God bless you too, brother. And I love you big time. Thank you so much. Don't forget to call me, brother.
I got you. Cheers, y'all. Y'all be safe.
You too. Thanks. You know what? He preached.
Yeah.
He preached. And you know what? And he had our undivided attention. It touched us. It was very emotional. So when we holler like that, all we telling you is that not only are we're hurting, we're tired. We're tired of this here. And you continue to do it, but then you continue to come back and ask us to protest, but protest peacefully. Before we go on, Robert, when we look at the title says the time to defund the police is now. My opinion, I've given them the benefit of the doubt. I said, no, we can't defund the police department. That's the last thing we want to do. But the more they attack us, I'm like, you leaving us no choice but to say defund the police. But if we do that, what does that mean when we say defunding the police? And where does that money go?
Well, first and foremost, I'm gonna just be real. Even though we can't really trust law enforcement, just imagine how fucked up things will be without the police.
Exactly.
Now, defunding the police does not mean taking the money, all the money away from police and doing away with police. Because again, who wants to live in a society where there's no some quote unquote law and order? My way of thinking is more so demilitarize the police. When you look at the police now, especially when it comes to these protests, and sometimes protests spin off into riots. That's because police agitate the protests, and then you have paid agitators coming in to agitate the police, and they turn into riot. But what you're seeing now are military units coming into the neighborhood. The police are heavily militarized. Take away the militarization, the funding for them to come in with these SWAT teams and kill Breonna Taylors and stuff like that. Also, thing also about it was he mentioned bringing social workers in. That's a good idea. You could take some of that money that's being used to buy all these weapons, these military assault. What the fuck does police need with an ATV? I mean, with an all-terrain vehicle that's heavily, you know what I'm saying, mounted machine guns, heavily armored. What the police need with that? Got battering rams on them. Well, I mean, they got, in some cases, they got tanks. I mean, what does the police need with this? So that's what, to me, defunding the police is all about, you know. But, you know, instead of sending, if you know Mr. George is up there, he's off his medication, don't send Officer Bob and Officer Bill with their pistols. Send maybe Officer Bob and a social worker who can talk to Mr., you know what I'm saying, and maybe help him realize that you need to take your meds, you know?
You know what, Robert? Probably the last 10 police shootings in this country, the victims had some kind of mental issue going on. I watched the brother today.
Including the police. You got to be mentally ill to shoot somebody the way that they shot that boy in Philadelphia.
Exactly. And so when the brother spoke today about the issue in Philadelphia, he knew exactly what he was saying. He was saying that people like you and I and brother and others are saying they need to have psychologists and psychiatrists to come out. Well, here's what he did. We can't do that. They liable to be in danger without a cop. Naturally, dude, we know one damn thing. You're not going to send them out there without a cop.
Yeah.
So quit trying to play us like we're super stupid. But here's the thing. You have a hostage negotiator. A hostage negotiator. That individual comes on the scene to do one thing, to de-escalate. And if after a certain amount of time, Robert, they feel they're not going to win, then they back up and authorities do what they feel they need to do. So when you have a person, and you know this here, that the individual you all are going to right now has mental issues. Okay, stop right there. We're going to change the way we pursue this issue. Call the psychiatrist, call the psychologist, tell them to come out with the chief or whatever, and let them try to de-escalate. That's how you handle that, rather than saying, I'm a police officer, I don't have time to deal with no mental issues. Well, you're going to be dealing with mental issues as long as you are a police officer, but this just may not be the job for you. Again, nothing at the goddamn academy will fix what's going on with cops and blacks.
That's where it starts at. The academy. Let me ask you a question. Out of all the groups in America, why the fuck are we the only ones that the police need to have special sensitivity training for?
Come on.
Why are we the only people?
So it's not an issue with the academy.
Because at the academy, they're trained. First and foremost, let's go back. You're talking about mental illness. Do you realize the police departments throughout America are the most prescribed group of antidepressants. Your police are fucking psychopaths. Half of them are on steroids, which are frying their brain. You see what I'm saying? What, we got 8 of them get caught here in Shreveport and fired for selling steroids. They're all marijuana. The police are just mentally ill. First of all, in today's society, you have to be mentally ill in a sense, somewhat, to want to be a police officer.
Exactly.
You have to have something mentally wrong with you to want to go out there and be a police officer and put your life. Now, I'm not saying all of them are mentally ill. Some of them have that desire when they grew up. Their family, their father was a cop, their grandfather was a cop. I can understand that. But what you have, again, and I mentioned this last night, what is happening is you're bringing back soldiers, in most cases, from these illegal foreign wars that we have been involved in over the last 30-something years. You're bringing these people back. Go ahead.
Good evening, caller. Live on air. What's your name and what state are you calling from this evening?
Hey, this is 35 Soldier. How y'all doing today?
Hey, Sister Soldier. How you doing?
Y'all ain't got boosted up?
No, we don't have Boosie, but I thank you for voting for me. I saw your comment. I love you big time. Thank you so much.
I told you way back then. At least we know what y'all gonna do. See, I can't trust y'all there. I just wanted to speak on topic.
Okay.
You know, a while back, matter of fact, when I first said that, I said, we have to clean out the house in order to clean up the street. Robert didn't catch what I was saying way back then, but if you get the crooked cops out of the police station, where get these niggas that, I mean, I ain't just gonna say niggas, but you know how everyday term. The killers off the street.
Well,
I think we have a lot of problems with trust, and everybody is not mentally ill. Let me just say that because, Mr. Scott, you know for yourself, I send you a lot of personal details.
Exactly. You do.
Emotion. And I talk to the people, we know they know what's going on. But you can't get action until you get the action. Why do I have to act like I'm mentally ill in order for you to figure like my situation matters?
Exactly.
See, trust is a big issue. I mean, shout out, hooray to everybody who still respects the police and they badge and their uniform. Because I say fuck them all, me. When they take the uniform off, then I can respect them. I can see somebody that I know that I trust.
You know
you read the email. Why was the police getting murdered? The situation more important than everybody else did. Do you see how many agencies they had over there? I can't get one. We don't have a problem. We have some problem.
Exactly.
Well, not only that, a lot of stuff could be prevented. You've heard me tell the mayor on down, from the top to the bottom and back up to the top. How many people I was gonna kill? How many people gonna be dead? Not only had the motherfuckers ever sent somebody to see was I crazy, was I tripping, was I serious? People ended up dead. They still ain't never came and asked me how I know. I'm just saying now, hell, if we ain't gonna solve the problem, we ain't gonna solve it. Stop acting like we are.
My God.
You heard, I walked in the mayor's office and told this man when the babies come up dead, not because I want babies to die, because I'm crying out for attention. And if that didn't get your attention, then what will? That's all I'm saying. See, I'm not throwing around sign your hand. I'm crying, I'm begging. It's like when I poured the stand off. I gave them people 4 guns. They didn't know I had them because I didn't want to hurt nobody. I just want somebody to see something about my brother case. Why he got to be just a dead motherfucker over there that don't nobody care about? I care. Why is it when one of their officers gets shot that they gonna spend all the resources and that's only their brother and sister by badge and uniform and position?
Exactly.
My mama had me, I can't get no help. I don't get that.
Exactly. I think Robert wants to address something. What you got, Robert?
Okay.
Well, my whole thing is trust is an issue because I've been saying this for a while, and recently we had a triple homicide here in Shreveport, And
I was the first one that told y'all that man just shot 3 more people here. How the hell he even got to shoot another motherfucking kid that side killed 3 more people?
No,
He should have never been.
Exactly, and that's what I'm alluding to. When you go back and look at this guy's criminal history, don't you realize this dude had over almost 10 attempted murder charges? This was now what I believe in a lot of cases. If I'm wrong, let it be proven. But the police, in a lot of cases, are facilitating a lot of these murders. There are a lot. There's no way in the fuck this dude, literally, like she said, was supposed to be on the street.
They ain't that goddamn stupid or incompetent. If they is, they still don't need to be in there. But we talking about the same police you couldn't find all the damn pills that were sold at the police station.
Mm-hmm.
See, no, it's not just like we are victims of homicide, victims with family members. The same goddamn killers, their family is working in a police station and at the city council, at the government plaza and all that shit. Everybody got relatives. It ain't nothing but some evidence to come up missing or technicality to get a case thrown out.
Well, you have to realize, first and foremost, the United States has the most lax requirement for police officers on the planet. You see what I'm saying? In other countries, in order to become a policeman, you have to wait almost 3-4 years. You have to go through all this different type of training before you even accept it. But you got to realize here in America, our police come from where? Us. They come from our society. So it's really a bigger problem than the police, because if your society is fucked up, you're going to put fucked up individuals out on the streets. Because again,
because I can't see nobody stealing $10,000 sitting up at no goddamn being no city council official. Well, I can't see, like you said, a judge stealing fines on camera, but she gonna send us another motherfucker for
exactly.
theft. I don't understand.
We're dealing with a corrupt system, but again, it comes from the society. If your society has a cancer is made up of a bunch of cells. These cells multiply. And that's what you have.
That's why I say kill them out. Radiation and chemotherapy. Fuck them out.
Yeah. But how do you give police chemotherapy? You have to kill the cancer that's in our society. First and foremost,
when you
we can't.
Let me defund them. It's the same thing as throwing them. You got tort laws. You got all kind of laws. You can't make them arrest nobody, but you can hit their ass where it hurts.
First of all, no matter what you do, until you change the culture of our society, because guess what? Black police listen to that same violent ass rap that we listen to. The white people listen to that same violent ass music. So until you change the culture, you're not going to have any change with the police, because you're picking police from a poison ass culture. You know, it's like picking the lesser two evil. Do I pick Officer Bob because he only shot 36 people in Afghanistan? Or do I pick Officer John because he only sold 30 pills that he stole at the airport?
You told me something a while back, and I'm kind of paraphrasing, that how they pick their police officers. And it was something to the extent about, are you willing to kill us?
Are you willing to kill? If you were asked to roll up on a scene and you had to make a decision to kill this man, would you be able to do it knowing that there's not going to be any repercussion? Most individuals are going to say no.
The same thing, though. But see, when you're talking about people hurt people.
Exactly.
See,
exactly.
And a lot of us not getting legal justice, then we go for street justice. Some of us go for both. See, and I tell them all the time, I'm willing to die to kill. Now, if that's not a statement within its motherfucking self, it's the same thing.
Sister Soldier, let me ask you this. Shreveport police, do you think they need a raise right about now?
Man, Shreveport police don't need shit. Really blow that bitch over there within my radius somewhere.
You kidding?
Really? And Mr. Scott, you know, because you know, I usually got some emails, because guess what? Every email I sent them, I sent you.
Thank you. So I know.
Because see, something might happen to me.
Exactly.
And if I have to die to kill in order for to get some motherfucking action, see, all that shit they do, and they try to cover up my brother's case, his case gonna be big to somebody more than me. Did you hear all them lies? Did you hear how many people talking about the video? Did you hear the detectives say they got but they didn't need me to tell them anything. They got it on video. The bitch over, everybody talking about what they did and took guns, how they interfere with crime scenes. Why is my brother case study being lied about? What you trying to push me to the limit? Cause see, I don't want the people who did my brother. Cause guess what? That's how they live. That's what they expect. I want to hear some people that don't live like that. Some people that it's some shit that's gonna hurt so bad it's gonna make somebody more than me care. And it's fucked up. You got to think like that. But this shit, I can't get no other kind of action.
Here's the thing. And I'm gonna get ready for another caller. Here's the thing. I can, just like when you came on the show the first time, I feel the anger. I feel the hurt. We have to get to a place to where we trust the police. However,
but watch this. I understand it. Like you said, emotionally intelligent. Watch this though. But you seen me a year before my brother got shot, begging them people to investigate the actions of SPD. 3 days would have made a year. I went to jail and they're talking about how them people in this police station wasn't right. And my brother shot in the head 7 times. I was talking before the action. I was humble. I was looking out for victims, people that couldn't stand up for themselves.
Exactly.
So I'm supposed to be humble and calm and intelligent with it. And now my brother a victim and not a motherfucker in this bitch open their mouth behind it for me. And then I'm supposed to come back and be nice again.
No, here's the thing. Two things. I don't think that anytime soon, Black people especially, will be able to say beyond a shadow of a doubt that we trust the police, because they have yet to make it that way. And every day after the day before and the day before, they continue.
Giving us another movement.
Exactly. So now we get to the point, like I'm at the point, the only thing I know now is to defund the police department, because you just drug a man. You shot a man, you shot 14 times. Totally unnecessary. And
they could have shot my brother too, because they trying mighty hard for it not to be coming out.
Exactly. So with what's going on, and y'all can quote me on this here, you're never gonna see me march. You're never gonna see me protest. You would never see me hold up a sign and say no justice, no peace, because I know one damn thing. If them white folks want some peace, it's gonna be some damn peace, whether you get the justice or not.
Right.
But here's what we're gonna have to do as Black people. The second caller, she pissed off. The first caller, he pissed off. You gonna have to raise some hell to get some peace in your life. The police don't give a damn. Exactly. The police don't give a damn about us. Emotions don't change laws. Conversation change laws. Sister Soldier, I love you big time. I'm gonna call you in the morning.
I love you too. Let me say this and I'm gonna let you go.
Come on.
You can't just start in the police station. It's deeper than that. You took the law out of the homes with the parents and told the children they can do whatever the fuck they want to do, and their parents can't discipline them because it's child abuse. They can't do nothing in school. Don't touch my child on the then because you're getting cussed out. See, it's like a village. The children don't have no guidance, no rules, or no nothing. I can't discipline my child, but you can go out there and beat them and kill them.
Oh!
It's bigger than that. It's bigger than that. It ain't just a police station. It gonna take all of us. See, you gonna let them get out of control, then you want to kill them because you can't control them. How the fuck does that go? They want everybody to pray from my city, but you don't say God can't go to the school, God can't go to the police, God can't go no damn well. I don't blame God. Until they invite God back in, I still have to go too and let it all happen. I mean, they want it or they don't. Just like they can beat us and kill us, hell, we ought to be able to teach our children if it takes the discipline and put some on their ass so they know don't do that. They don't respect their parents. They don't respect authority. They don't respect nobody. And then let them get up there and get the smell in themselves, and then they got drugs. Hell, you ain't got no control. You gonna have problems. But I'm gonna let y'all be great. I just wanted to say that because it's time for change, you know me.
Listen, before you go, I want to read one comment for that someone is speaking about you. It's Tammy, always 100, never fake. She says we feel the caller's pain, and I feel it too. And I just heard Robert; he feels it too, and stuff. And we're right here with you, helping you in any way that we can.
Well, yeah, we probably need to hook up tomorrow. You saw the email.
Yes,
I sent you all a copy of them.
Okay. I will give you a call sometime in the morning, if that's okay.
All right, because I almost fumbled again today. All right, thank you, baby.
Don't do it. Love you big time. Bye-bye.
Love you too. Bye.
Robert, I know we're going to have to do another one because we didn't get to where we needed to go tonight. But when you hear the people speak like that and you hear the fire come from it, what's your first thought, Robert? What's going on with us? And it seems like nobody gives a damn.
Let me show you something. And I don't want anybody to take this the wrong way or whatever, but it's something to piggyback off something you said about emotions, protesting, all those things. Emotions are natural. Protesting is good. But guess what? Until you get into the chamber walls of your city council, none of that shit means nothing. It's plain and simple. You can get out there. You know what? The white folks don't care about you marching and protesting because as soon as you finish marching, you're going to march your tired black ass into their stores and buy a glass or buy a bottle of water. The change actually comes with law. And how do you change laws? If you out there, think about it, 4/5 of the people that's protesting never go to the city council meetings. And that's where your change is going to come, people. It's not going to come out there in the fucking streets holding up a sign saying we're tired, I can't breathe, Black Lives Matter. No, it's until you put it like this. If everybody in Philadelphia that's protesting right now was to go to the next city council meeting and make it impossible for them to conduct business, they're going to have to listen to you. But as long as we're just satisfied with holding up picket signs and not in that city chamber, in city hall, changing laws, nothing is going to change, man. And I mean, that's just plain and simple. You can't change laws by holding up picket signs. You can get attention to your cause. Once you get attention on your cause, now you have to take that attention, that motivation, that anger, that frustration into your city council meeting and say, God damn it, until we get some change, nothing. We're not going to vote for no pay raises. We're not going to vote to fix those streets. We're going to shut the city down. You will not be able to conduct business until you deal with what we want you to deal with.
Fix it.
Again,
Fix it.
And I'm not criticizing by no means, but that shit ain't changing. How long has Negroes been protesting? Come on now. How long have we been protesting? Dr. King was smart enough to use the protest, but you know what he did? He put them, guess what? Long as black folks were out there protesting, white folks didn't give a damn. Dr. King had to figure out something back in them days. How can we get the white people to listen? He started using them little white children, them good little white children, as cannon fodder, which allowed the white people to go inside the city hall, the state legislation, and then the federal government and get laws changed. Until you go in there and shut the law, shut your city, state, and federal government down, nothing's gonna change.
We had Robert, you own the money. You own the money. That's why I love you. I respect you because you don't give them no sugar-coated tickets. You tell them exactly the way that it is. Tonight, unfortunately, we did not get a chance to get into the cases in depth.
We didn't touch none of the cases.
And so they all.
That's a good thing.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing. That is. So if Robert has time tomorrow, it may not be at 7, it may be before. I'm going to ask him to join me again, and we're going to open up with discussing the cases within the last 3 weeks of how police officers in the United States have been attacking black people. But as Robert just said, even though we didn't get to those cases, I think it was a very informative show, and we heard the emotions, we heard the pain. People are tired. And when people get tired, strange things happen. Strange things happen. Good evening, caller. You're live on air. What's your name and what state are you calling us from tonight?
Mr. Scott, it's Jason Bolden again. I never used Cash App before. Can you check and make sure everything went through for you?
You just sent it?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I have it.
All right, beautiful, beautiful. I'm not the type, I don't be giving nothing for no praise. I just wanted to make sure because I never used it before if you got it. So blessings to that, Dennis. And thank you for everything y'all do.
Brother, you are welcome and thank you. I love you big time. Appreciate your support, brother.
Appreciate y'all too. Bye.
Bye. Okay, we're going to get out, but I want you to remember what Sister Soldier said, Mr. Bolden, and Robert Thomas from the Real News Behind the News. They all told you the same thing. Protesting, don't do nothing. White folks know between 2 and 3 months of protesting. That's about it. And after that, regardless of the outcome, if there is a resolution, black folks go back to business as usual. The only thing that's going to work is what Robert just said and what President Obama said. You do not have to accept the life they want you to live in. You have to interrupt the powers that be.
You stop their money from coming in. You stop them from conducting business. You shut everything down effectively. Because again, it's good to march, but this is what I suggest these people in these cities where people are getting shot. Organize your protest on the day of the city council meeting, and you come into that city council chamber, 1,000, 10,000 strong, to the point where they cannot conduct business. I guarantee you, you will get some act right. You will get some act right.
That's it. And one other thing I think that was used back then to technique, and I still think it will work today. But if we do it for just one day out of the year, it will not do a damn thing. You cannot do a boycott for one day. And then we're not going to buy white today. What's today? Tuesday?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to buy black all day. But now Wednesday, we're going to buy white.
Look at Colin Kaepernick. Negroes was talking about I stand with Cap until the first football game came on that season, and that shit was over. I'm just being real. We left Colin Kaepernick 3 years ago, 4 years ago. We left him on his knee, and we went straight into the stove. We went straight back. All you see, and I'm not knocking nobody, but all I see up and down my timeline is Saints and Cowboy fans. Which, you know, hey, you do that, it's a way of having fun. Well, I thought y'all stood with Cap. Negroes could not turn their fucking TV off for one Sunday. Could not turn their TV off for one Sunday. So you think they're going to take us serious? The Negroes sitting around talking about Drew Brees, old Tom Brady, old Cap still ain't got a job. The Negroes been watching it ever since he took his knee. So at what point do we stop being hypocritical about this shit also? I mean, if for real, like I'm going to say Black Friday. Nigga, what about Black Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Black Sunday, Monday? You know what I'm saying?
But that's it though. You know, that's it. You know, we boycott for one day. Blacks pump, if I remember correctly, I think $2.3 trillion in the economy. I think it's more than any other race. Yet we are treated the worst. If you boycott for one day, that would not put a dent in white America.
All you're going to do is come back the next day.
And you're going to double up.
Double up. Like the same shit that you boycott, that you wanted to boycott, buy, but you couldn't buy it on boycott day because really you got Negroes threatening you or making you feel bad. You not going to boycott? Fuck no. I got to go get some chicken wings.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying?
That's it.
I mean, come on. Boycotts is good only if you are willing to see it through over the long haul. That one day shit does not hurt the economy.
It doesn't. It doesn't. And so when you look at the police, and we're going to do this again tomorrow night, bitch, Lord will. Here's what the police are telling you every time they attack a black. Guilty or innocent, right or wrong. We don't give a damn about y'all marching. We don't give a damn about y'all marching. Because here's what you do, and you may not know it. While you're marching, because of the injustices that blacks continue to receive in this country, not just from cops, but by some white folks, some of these white folks that dogs us out, we walk in their stores every day, even during the protest, and give them their coat or give them that money. So it's like giving away a tic tac. You ain't done a damn thing. It is time out. This is my personal opinion. It's time out for protesting. It's time out.
Time out for waiting for Jesus to come and do this for us. Because if I was Jesus, think about this. Jesus sitting in heaven right now. And God telling him, my son, I need you to go down to America because there's so much going on. I need you to go down there and help these people. I can see Jesus like, shit, you must be out your mind. You think I'm going to leave these pearly gates and these streets of gold to go down there and one of them niggas shoot me? I'm just being real.
That's it.
I mean, praying is good. And I'm not trying to knock nobody's faith, but praying alone. Think about it. David, praying man in the history of the world. That's all the Bible says he was doing every time he had to confront an enemy. He prayed and asked God, should I go into battle? God said yes. Get what David had to do. He had to get up off his fucking knees and go out there and fight that battle, man. You sitting around here waiting on a person that's living in the sky to drive a car down here on by remote control on earth, and Jesus ain't even got a driver's license. And you wonder why we running in the tree every time.
That's it. In slavery days, and we're gonna get out of here because we're over our time. In slavery days, Robert and I and you understood why they just kept. And I'm not against God. I'm not against prayer, but we understood why they kept. All they did was pray and read the Bible for some that could, because they knew other ways to do things, but they knew one thing back then: you dare not try. So that's why we hear elder people, especially, say, God sits high and God's look low. You ain't got to worry about it. God gonna deal with them. Well, that might be true, but I got to deal with their ass today. Yeah. My way. You keep saying you're waiting on God. God said, no, I'm waiting on y'all, because everything you need to address this is instilled within you. But if you're a coward, just say you're a coward and step to the side.
You're using God as a crutch.
That's it.
To keep from doing what it is that you really should
That's
be doing.
it. And so we got to wake up and we got to realize that protesting no longer works when it comes to injustices that blacks continue to receive in the United States. This is going to be our last call. Good evening, caller. You're live on air. What's your name and what state are you calling from tonight?
Mr. Scott, I'm that irritating caller tonight. Y'all done lit a fuse in me. It's Jason again from Florida.
Okay,
let me say this right quick. I'm gonna be real brief.
All right.
Y'all, I know times is hard. So if you don't have but like $2-3 to give to Mr. Scott, Mr. Robert, I'm talking about like we buy Newports at $6 a pack. We buy beers at $2 for a 24 ounce. So at the end of the day, man, I'm not asking nobody to do no more than I can do. I know it's hard. I had to close my restaurant during COVID. So I know times is hard out here. But if we can come together and just give money to these platforms, we don't have to march. Because these platforms like Mr. Scott, Mr. Robert, and so many countless others, they going to march forward because their voice going to carry. Another thing, y'all start hitting that like and share button. Do you realize even if you don't have no money to donate, if you share it to your Facebook and somebody else share it, do you realize what you can do to change this shit? Last thing I want to say, man, if y'all believe in the Jesus I do, Jesus ain't coming back to save us because he like this. And I apologize, Mr. Scott. Y'all want me to come back down there from all this bliss to help you niggas that won't get off y'all ass to help yourself? See, faith without work is dead. So until we get the fuck up and start helping ourselves, don't be calling for no Jesus where I'm from. Save yourself, save your family, then your community, and that's how it works. And I apologize for being
No,
you lit a fuse tonight, Mr.
Brother Jason.
You lit a fuse tonight. You know
Brother Jason, you say you follow us on the Real News Behind the News on YouTube, right?
I'm one of the ones that be chatting with Mr. Robert know me. I'm the one talking to him about Behold a Pale Horse. Yeah. How all of us are deception. Mr. Scott know me. I've been there through all his I was on his live when he walked down to the stabbing and shooting. It's just, Mr. Scott, I don't be chatting a lot. You know, I feel like I can send my support through likes and shares.
Exactly.
One thing I'm changing now is I need to quit. I need to do that, and I also need to donate. And I'm not sitting here trying to act like I can donate $1,000, but if I can give a little bit here and there, and people that feel like I do match me, we can make a difference. We don't need 1,000 people to give $1,000. We need 1,000 people to give $2.
That's all we've been saying.
Exactly. But think about this, Brother Jason. Think about this. You notice I haven't done a show in almost a month. You know, I hate asking my subscribers for money, but right now, think about it. I had to come in and borrow 75 cents from this man here to put with $1.25 I have, so I won't run out of gas going back home. And people don't realize it's not like we're sitting up here begging. I see people like Tommy Sotomayor get $4,500 per show. And he's talking a derogatory message, in a sense, towards our people. And here I am, and Alfonso, here we are, man, doing this out of the love for our people, love for humanity. And, look, I'm like I say,
y'all clean. Look, I'm from South Carolina. We say y'all casket clean up there. Don't get it twisted. Y'all sharp as a, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, this is what I'm gonna say, Mr. Robert. If everybody listening to you, they preachers driving a 2020 Cadillac. Y'all ain't.
Man, I'm finna run out of gas. Am I lying out for
Mr. Scott from day one, and I'm telling you, mate, I didn't know him on Facebook, but everything Mr. Scott said from Aaliyah was anything that me and my team do, we're not gonna charge. We're gonna come out there and we're gonna support y'all. At the end of the day, how the hell is he supposed to support us if we ain't supporting him? But we didn't get that money up to the church. And again, no disrespect to the church. Mr. Scott has done more. You and Mr. Scott have done more for y'all community than any church pastor that I have.
But guess what happens? Guess what happens every Monday after they went to church and gave pastor all that money? First people they call Monday morning is Alfonso or myself, asking us, can we help them get their son, talk to the judge for their son? And I'm like, yes, ma'am. You know, I don't hold. But I'm like, goddamn, you just got on Facebook yesterday talking about how Jesus, you went to church and gave pastor this, and then you sitting back talking about one day I'm gonna be just like I'm gonna have the same house pastor would. No, you won't, because you're too busy paying for this shit.
Maybe to people struggling like I am, you know, and I don't be trying to give advice, but you know, Mr. Robert, there's a membership button that y'all can hit after a certain sub. Maybe if people can't donate, they might be able to give y'all like $3.99, $4.99 a month to be a member to your community. Maybe that, because see, people don't realize what $5 a month. Listen, man, it's something out there, y'all. And I don't know if you know about investments, but if somebody give you $5 a month and it's up and giving you $5 a month.
You know what,
if,
brother?
If you sit on that, imagine what that is in a year. Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
We're sharing the videos. Again, you might not have the money. And again, we don't ask for money. I might ask for a picture, hey, y'all, the Wi-Fi. But we don't ask for money. Believe it or not, like you mentioned earlier, share something as simply as sharing the video might catch somebody's eye who's in a position to do something. You know, sharing and hit the like button will make more people aware of these videos and able to see it. And maybe somebody would be able to bless the message. Because you're not blessing us, you're blessing the message and the work that we're doing. You know, I mean, we walk by faith over here, man. And again, we've never charged anybody for anything.
It's not even the message that y'all giving. And Mr. Robert, when Mr. Scott was doing them cases, do you know how hard it is to look at little Tootie, to look at Cupcake, to look at Malia? It kills me to listen to Mr. Scott talk about it for an hour live. Imagine doing the investigative research that he does behind the story. I'm not donating to him for what he did. I'm donating to him for what he goes through, doing what he does. Yeah. You understand? It's heart-wrenching to watch a little black baby get.
I was so glad her parents got arrested.
There's no way I could cover the stories Mr. Scott did for more than 2 hours without going crazy or having to smoke a blunt or drink a whole bar. Like it's impossible, man. And I appreciate y'all.
You are indeed.
Appreciate you, my brother. Thank you for the love, man.
We do, bro.
Yeah, y'all be safe, man. I won't call back tonight.
No, you're good. We love you big time. Thank you so much, brother.
All right. Cheers.
And with that being said, Ms. Farron said something we're going to get out of here. She says we shouldn't have to ask. I totally agree with that. You know, whether we get it or not, we show up. But listen, we love you all. Again, we didn't get to what the cases tonight, but big God willing, hopefully we'll be able to do this tomorrow, Robert and I. If you don't remember anything else, please remember this here. Protesting is dead. You're still using old methods to address new tricks from the police department. Film the police. Film the police. But as Robert said, don't agitate them. Don't say you're filming them. They know that. Do not ever turn that phone over to a cop. If he tells you it's part of evidence, tell him, go get a judge to sign a warrant and we'll talk then. Don't do it.
Because it is against the law for them to take your phone because that's illegal search and seizure, basically, confiscating your property like that without a warrant. They can't do it.
So when you go out, don't just say you know the law. Make sure you know the law. I'm Al Scott with Injustice Investigations and my good friend Robert R. Thomas Jr. from The Real News Behind the News. Listen, I'm not always right and you are not always wrong. Y'all have a good night. We love you.
Y'all be blessed, man.